All right, we're gonna go over reps, sets, and rest, and how they're written on the board, and what that means, and how you should interpret all that information. So, for reps, sets, and rest, we have back squat at 3010, 3 sets of 10 reps. We're gonna rest a minute and a half. We have pull-ups at 2111 tempo, 3 sets of 6 reps, and rest a minute and a half before you go back to A1. So the way that'll look, 10 repetitions of back squat, 6 repetitions of pull-up, 10 reps back squat, 6 pull-ups, 10 reps back squat, 6 reps pull-ups, and you'd be done with the A portion of that workout. How you should interpret these numbers here is that you're going to do 3 sets of 10 reps, and in those 3 sets, you should be trying to find a 10 rep max, essentially. Now, what that means is that you can do 10 reps, but not 11. And in 3 sets, you're not going to find like the exact, if it's 100 pounds, and you can do 100 pounds for 10 reps. You could probably do 102 pounds for 10 reps, but you're only going to be allotted three sets to find that number. So what that should look like in a perfect setting is that you'd start it somewhere that you could probably do, 14 reps. Potentially, you're only going to do 10, but you could potentially do 14 reps. Your second set, maybe you can do 12 reps. In your third set, you can do 10, but not 11. So you're going to try and work to find that number through what we're going to call 3 working sets. Now, what that means, and this is going to be in another video, is how to warm up for that, is that you're going to pick up the barbell and start moving around, and that's not going to count for a set. So you'll start doing, lower sets or however you want to warm up. And then once you start doing 10s that are somewhere within that 10 rep max, then we're going to start counting those sets. That can be noted, I guess that could be noted in a different way, but this is how we're going to do it here, and that's how you should read it. Some things to note are that a workout like this with a higher rep range is going to be a little bit more like muscle fatiguing, where you're going to be a little bit more sore, and you're not going to need as much rest. And if we were to change that around, and this could be a much longer video, but if we were going to do 7 sets of 2 to 3 reps, you'd need a lot more rest in there, like 2:30 to 3 minutes or so. 2:30 to 3 minutes. Because that's going to be a lot more fatiguing on your brain and your central nervous system than the higher rep ranges. And the reason being, in a short, kind of concise way, is that this is going to take more like neural drive, like just recruiting everything that you've got to put all that energy and every single one of your muscle fibers into that movement. So if it's a shoulder press, for example, a good example is if you ever watch somebody max out on a shoulder press and they get to here and they do this, and they're just trying to get every single thing they can to get that thing barely over. Where generally, if they're doing a set of 10, if they get tired towards the end, but it's not like they're not trying to conjure up some spirit to get that weight to go that extra inch to get past that sticking point. So, in general, these are going to be obviously heavier, and you're going to need some more rest in between there. If you're interested in that at all, and what these relationships are, and how it becomes 3 sets of 10 versus 7 sets of, 7 sets of 1 is probably a better example. It's something called Prilepin's chart. That was taken from a boatload of Russian weightlifting data, and they put it all into this, how things are most effective as far as how many sets, if you're going to do a certain amount of reps, what the optimal amount of rep range is for that workout, how much rest is in there, what you're targeting. But that's pretty interesting. And most programs, as much as people want to talk about how they have this revolutionary program, they generally will, if they're effective, they're going to fall within the means of this. So another thing to take note of is if we're doing a max type of a workout, if it's going to say on the board like it's a testing week, then we're going to say find a 5 RM, and maybe a 3 RM pull up, is this is more in a testing scenario, and it's going to be up to the individual and how they, people are going to respond differently to these kinds of workouts, and how they're going to recover fast enough, and how many sets and things it's going to take. But just know that if it says 5 RM, you're probably going to take more sets to get. You're going to probably be allotted more sets to get there. Like you should probably do, I would say, 5 to 6 sets. So just in your mind, you should be thinking 5 to 6 sets, and rest, about 2 minutes between each set. With the 3 RM, maybe a little bit more sets, rest, 2.5 minutes or so. So that's kind of, I think it's important to note, you don't have to remember these things. We're happy to help you with that, but I think it's good to recognize that, the higher the sets are, the less rest you're going to need. The higher the rep range for the set is, the less rest you're going to need, and the lower, the more you should take. Yeah. Hopefully that helps.